one about the war. The scariest one I know of that is after I met Granddad. I mean, I was never afraid in there. I just took it that my name was on it, I'd get it where I was.
Yeah.
Because people would spend nights and nights and nights in the shelter.
Yeah.
And then one night I said, not much is happening. I'm overnight from there. And that night the bomb dropped on their house, killed them.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened so many times. And another person would have been in her house for so long. Lonely, her husband was away and her children were evacuated. She decided to go along to the shelter. And that, when she got home, she hadn't got a home. That had gone. I mean, they were stories of the war, like. But I mean, it was such a long time, it was 6 years. I can't recall all what happened in 6 years. Yeah, just bits and pieces. So what do you want?
The one where you can hear them all dropping down and you're standing.
Oh, that's a later on.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, well look, I'll just start off with where we was evacuated from the bank.
Okay.
See, the bank, we had the notes. Now I was accountant. I had the accountant fund with the £500 retention notes.
Yeah.
And then go all through to make sure that when the war came, they closed, that was in Old Street, London, that was down, and they told us not to go in, we didn't go into work, finished work on, when did the war break out? Sunday the 3rd, did it?
I don't know.
Anyway, on the Friday, we were told not to go into work anymore, but just to report to different people within walking distance of where we live. Somebody was, that we had inspectors. Inspectors is old people, like, well, in their 30s, 40s, upwards, rock and roll. And when they wondered you reported to that one daily, so it meant you were getting paid, but you had to report at about 10 o'clock in the morning. It means you wasn't working night by reporting. Sometimes they change over and make it later on so that you won't have another job, but that's not their said, well, you want another job and you're getting paid for doing nothing. So I've been able to do a job like that all my life. That was the early part of the war. And anyway, and finally, after we didn't go in from the, I think 1st of September was a Friday, and I've got a feeling that the Sunday was the 3rd of that. I'm not quite sure. So we didn't go to work on that Friday, and we was home until November. We went down to Overton, which is in Hampshire, called Country Town, and there was builders put up and all. We was in houses, like or what we call them. We stayed in their houses, like they fed us. They got paid.
Oh, okay.
To the bank. Oh, and we still got paid. We don't pay any food money, so that was good. And then anyway, that was in the November when we went down there. We were getting a bit tired because when where we stayed, they had 6 children. The oldest was 14, the youngest was about 18 months. Every time we went home, we all went, yeah, and stand up and went to sell mine on the chair or on the floor. Talking about time we go out. We were a bit shy, see. I mean, in those days, you didn't talk that much to this.
Yeah.
And not thought we were loners or that.
Oh.
But once we did complain, the nurse, like, I went over to someone. She said, "Are you all right?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, you just seem to be on edge about something." So I said, "Oh." I said, "Let's be honest." I said, "We're not very happy with it at all." She said, "Well, how long have you been with us?" I said, "Good, great." Yeah, no, there's plenty of billets here. So they found us another billet.
Yeah.
But after November, December, January, about beginning of February. But there were also some billets in town. Obviously, big town it was. So we was in a village. Oh, there was the name of the town.
Do you want me to ask you?
Yeah, ask him. Where? Basingstoke, was it? Basingstoke, I think. Ask the granddad.
Now there was, what was the name of the town after
Was it Basingstoke? When we first got evacuated with the bank, we went to this village, you know. Basingstoke, yeah. And it was, and there were billets going there, but it meant going on the train from over to Basingstoke. Oh, anyway, we got our fare paid as well.
Cool.
And anyway, that went on till my friend that I was with, Lily Barnes, she went home sometime in January and she didn't come back anymore from Basingstoke to Overton. And I said, "Oh, what's happened to her?" And then somebody came up, "Oh," she said, "I saw her cousin ring this." And she said that Lily was married.
Yeah.
Married Lily Reed, this cousin. She'd been going out with him. But she never wrote or told us or anything.
Yeah.
I wonder if she had to get married or something.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, she didn't come back anymore. And then Evelyn Horrocks, she was a nice girl. And she came down to join us. And so her and I went to these billets in Basingstoke, and she was only about 24. Her name was Mrs. Chook. Chook. Yeah, and we didn't laugh. We did to ourselves after. But she was just so nice. And her husband hadn't been married very long. And her husband had just gone into the forces. And she got this house on the outskirts of Basingstoke. About 3 or 4 bedrooms. It was just so different to what we had on these kids' rooms. And there was more. She wanted to go to work. She said, "I'll give you an egg." And I said, "Oh, eggs are so..." No, she said, "My mother gets plenty of eggs for her friends." We never saw an egg at that other place.
Yeah.
And all our ration books, I didn't take sugar, but sugar rations went to make quite a fortune out of them.
Really?
So we used to go home Friday night.
Yeah.
We didn't come back till Monday morning. So we went to work Friday morning. It was all Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Most of Monday.
Yeah.
We had the train on Monday. So she must make quite a bit of those for sugar ration.
Yeah.
So I didn't take sugar anyway instead. Never had any breakfast was porridge and toast. Just toast and margarine. And then we had our hot meals that we didn't really want. They gave us a beautiful one at the bank.
Really?
We had morning tea, which was sausage rolls, ham pasties and things. And
Yeah.
mid-morning we then lovely cooked meal, pudding. And then in the afternoon, cakes and tea again. To go home, get back about 6 o'clock. Not walk, walk right down the hill going home, but coming to work it was uphill.
Yeah.
And just walk through the waterways first, and up the hill to the bank. And what was I going to say then? No, we got these night off. When we got home overnight, every night it was killing rabbit. Stewed rabbit, carrots. Because the boys, she had 2 boys. One was 14, one was 12. They used to go out and trap the rabbits.
Oh.
We never saw any other meat but rabbits there.
Oh.
This Lily Barnes, when she was in, she was looking. And one morning she pecked at a bit of porridge. Oh, she said, look, could we have a change for breakfast? And she said, what would you like? I thought you like porridge. She said, no, well, not every morning. She said, what about an egg, guy? Oh, she said, there's no bacon. She said, but you've got our ration for us. And she said, what about the eggs? She said, oh, there's so many eggs.
Oh.
And
Dealing with stuff.
And when we told her, and the nurse, like, we saw it, she said, well, you don't need to be like that.
Yeah.
She said, well, don't complain amongst yourselves, ever, any of you. So one of us.
Oh, right. That's lovely. Tell me about when Granddad came back from the war.
Oh, my dad didn't come back.
No, Granddad. Well,
Oh, this is your granddad.
did your dad die in the war?
My father died the war broke out in September 1939.
Yeah.
And my dad died in June
Yeah.
1940. Which, you've heard of D-Day,
Yeah.
that was the 6th of June.
Yeah.
Well, my dad died on the 6th of June, but D-Day wasn't until 1944.
Oh.
They called it D-Day, and that was the 6th of June.
How did he
He
die?
had cancer.
Oh, that throat cancer. Yeah. Did he get over it quickly?
Yeah, well, we were glad, praying for him for weeks to see him go.
Oh. He was really sick.
Big man, tall, don't know what happened to me. My mum was about 5'4", 5'5".
Yeah.
I never got beyond 5'1". My dad would be about 5'10".
Wow.
One of my brothers was about the same, about 5'9". The other one was, I think, younger than me, Uncle Bert.
Oh.
He was about 6 foot.
Oh. Wow.
But they were years older than me because they were my dad's children by his first wife.
Okay, you're half brother. What about your mum? Then you stay with your mum?
Well, anyway, when my dad was so ill and just, as I say, died on the 6th of June. And I'd come away from Hampshire, where the bank was, back to, they had just a low, what's name staff in the old street in London branch, just a few. And I explained what had happened. And I said, I'm the only child. I had 2 half brothers, but they're married. And one lives in Bristol, and the other one up north. Somewhere he didn't quite live up north, but he lived north of us and we didn't know much of him. And I said, and my mother's getting on in years and I'm not the only one. So they let me come back to London. in the London branch.
Oh, okay. So you stay with your mum then?
I stayed with my mum.
Until you were how old?
Well,
You got married?
no, I stayed with my mum. Stayed with my mum when I was married. Granddad was alive and that. And then my mum, Granddad was, what's the name? He was for the name. Auntie Georgia then was
On the way?
no,
Oh,
she
was born.
yeah.
So was Granddad here with you when Auntie Jill was born?
No, he was
He
still in the
was
Navy.
away. Oh.
He was still in the Navy, but he was demobbed in. Auntie Jill was born in August 45,
Mhm.
and Granddad was still in the Navy, and he wasn't demobbed till sometime in January. Yeah, because my mum died on the 2nd of January. So he must have been demobbed before Christmas.
How old was your mum?
She was 71.
How did she die?
Well, she had a fall in the stairs, and she carried Jill down the stairs. And in the last few stairs, she slipped her. She held her up so that she didn't get hurt.
Oh.
My mum, her foot went under. She had a broken ankle.
Oh.
She died about 4 months after. I think it was not pneumonia, it's shock.
Oh. Yeah.
She died on the 2nd of January.
Were you really bad?
Oh, yeah.
Did you cry for weeks?
I think Pride told you. No. And that is far worse than Pride.
You never cried?
No, I didn't cry for about 10 days. And that is worse than Pride. It's all bottles.
Yeah.
Oh. All I do was drinking and smoking cigarettes.
Oh, really?
Oh. Getting in my dresses to fit me, they was all hanging on him. I went down to about 7 stone. Oh, it was not long ago. I mean, none of my clothes fit me now. I'm in the 8, just on 8 stone.
Yeah.
And that suit, nice green suit I had for Tom's wedding,
Yeah.
put it on the skirt with. No, they put it on the skirt and down to the floor. It was a shame, it's a nice thing. No, I think I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
It would have been better if I couldn't cry. I did cry eventually, but it was quite a few weeks before I cried. I don't think I cried until I went with a friend, a neighbour, to the cemetery to take some flowers and arrange about having a stone on. And it wasn't till then that I cried at the.
Oh, really?
Some friend said, "Oh, she cried. She said, this is what you should have done months ago."
How did your mum cope with the war? What was her name?
Well, her name, Eleanor. That's how your mother's, Wendy Eleanor.
Okay. It's amazing I don't know all this stuff, isn't it? It's my great grandma.
That's right.
Yeah. That's why I want to write it down. Was she sad during the war?
No, not. A bit lonely first of all, but then we moved. We moved from Ponfield Road to Moorland Road. And next door, my mother, she not remember auntie. She not, but your mother. Next door, and we went to 88 Moorland Road. Next door was Mrs. like, so she got reached about, well, she was about 3.5. Well, it was about 6 months of the boy. And she was on her own all day. And my mum was a little bit deaf with the sirens when she used to, rat-a-tat-tat on the door and call through the letterbox. Saying, Mrs. Loyal, the sirens have gone.
Oh.
You want to come to the shelter?
Oh.
And anyway, this kid, he never slept. He'd have about 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon, then he'd be awake all night. But his father, he only had one leg, he had an open motorbike accident. Neil. And she said, just get me to bed then. Put him down. She said, just don't he'd sit up, he wanted to play all the night. And that. So what happened? On a Saturday afternoon, my mum and I, we used to take him around the park. We used to take him out about 1:30 with Daddy's mum. Keep him out till about 5 o'clock or 5:30. Next mum and dad go to bed and have a few hours sleep in the afternoon. But,
how many nights did you spend sleeping in the shelter?
well, not so many, because when we first we went down, when it got, so we didn't have any bombing. War broke out in September 39. We didn't have any bombing until a bit later than that. Oh, it was beautiful. Oh, the weather was absolute.
Really?
Oh, flowers everywhere. And I bought a couple of packets of seeds, a couple of pennies each, and scattered them.
Oh.
There was me chooks in the house where we were, and they were running all loose in the yard. And the man died. So we got rid of the chooks and all that. Back the garden and started, settling down. And it was so well knew that somebody put these flowers in. You've got no idea how quickly they came up. Oh, yeah. Just a couple of packets, penny packets, and a couple of packets of seeds, marigold, and what's the name, polyhops, and it stopped. That was beautiful. Do you know what stock is?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful smell.
Yeah.
It's not bunches, they're only little tiny daisy-like flower. But some are double and they're like buds. Oh, and the smell beautiful.
Really?
Yeah. And our first sirens. It's hard to remember. The war broke out in September. We didn't have anything. Had a few false calls.
Yeah.
But mostly they were airplanes or that.
You slept in the railway sometimes, didn't
Well,
you?
when it did start, my dad died in June 1940. And I'll tell you when it started now. And my dad's brother lived at Harrow in Ulster, about 20 miles north of London. And he was very, they had one daughter, Loyal, and my name was Loyal.
Yeah.
And they had one daughter, Irene Loyal. And she was, my birthday was in December, and hers was in April, I think. But I was 10 before she was 10. I was 10 in December and she was 10 in April. So, well, we were both only children, like, because my stepbrother grown up and married, and they never had any more. Uncle Fred or Auntie Mary. And and they were very good to us. When my dad died, and I used to go and see them, and I went over in the September, and he said, now look, Laurie, we're not going to keep you. We don't want to drive you out, but we want you to go so that you get bus at a certain time to from the bottom of the road to the station, and then from the station you'll get right home to Camden Town, and then you'll get up and you'll get a trolley bus. But he said, if you go now, he said, I've got a feeling that, we might soon be getting some rain. Well, I suppose about 4 o'clock when I left them, so they came to the station and the train came, waved them off, going along, after about half an hour, and looked out the train window. Oh, look at that sunset, and the sky was all gold and red. Oh, it was beautiful. But the nearer I got to it, the brighter it got.
Oh.
It was London on fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was in the September
Wow.
of 1940. The East End of London.
How did you find out it was London?
Well,
you saw it.
well, I lived in London.
You could tell
Oh,
by the sky.
we could tell by the. It wasn't very
Smoke.
far on the line to see it. And when anyway, it came down, and I got out of this train at Camden Town. I went to get on the bus. Bloke in a white helmet coming on. I said, where are you going? I don't get a bus, I've just got off the train. He said, there'll be no such thing, you'll go down in that shelter. I said, I can't, I want to go home. He said, you'll go. You grab him. I don't think the Americans were over there, no. No, that was on another bridge where the Americans stopped me, and I told them it was my country, not theirs. I wanted to cross the bridge, I'd cross it.
Go, Nanna!
Well, anyway, he was some soldier, like, he had a soldier's khaki thing on it. He had a cap, so he wasn't an ordinary soldier, he was a lieutenant or something with a cap. And he said, we'll go in that shelter. I said, look, I've got an elderly mother at home, and she'll be wondering on earth I've got to. He said, well, she will do if you're caught in this lot going. She might not see you anymore. He said, just take my advice. So I said, shut it. I went down to this tube station. I didn't know how I could net this tube station was the one I wanted to go to. So I just shut him up. Kept on down there and when I hit that, hit round the corner and I saw this 29 bus coming on, but I so he put my hand up and the bus driver stopped. He said, I'm not going far, he said. I'm only going to Seven Sisters Road. I said, that'll do me.
You went home and just stayed in the house?
No, and when we got, meet the bottom, you could hear the bottom stop. Anyway, I got out at the bottom of the underground. Seven Sisters Road was along there, the main road, the buses. And the underground came out that end. And also an entrance out that end, and one at the top.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go out the top one. So I came out to Will's Terrace, and I had to go up that road, cross the road, up another road round the corner. And I just made a bit of a start to go up to my road, and the blooming bomb dropped. I don't know where it dropped, it wasn't anywhere near me, but I felt it. So I took my shoes off.
Yeah.
High-heeled shoes, cold shoes. I took my shoes off and I belted up the road of Mars. Oh, she said, I've been wondering where you were, she said.
Were you terrified?
Not for me so much as for my mum. See, I mean, if she hadn't been there, I'd have probably sat down in the underground, but not bothered.
So you just stayed in the house?
We stayed in the house, and that night they really started.
Why didn't you get in the shelter?
We didn't have a shelter. All we had was shelters in the road.
You could have gone
They weren't finished. The shelters were built up. My Edward, my Uncle Edward, he'd been your great uncle, mother's uncle. he often came to stay with us up to London from Bristol. He worked for the typewriter people. He learned different things and he'd come up to the London office and take over there to do something. He stayed with us. And this night he went out, he came back and he said, I'm just having a stroll up, come from the Nag's Head and I turned up onto a road. I said, I saw him one place. There wasn't any signs of any planes or anything.
Yeah.
And he said, and up comes this chap and he said, I'm an air raid warder. He said, you go in the shelter. And he said, there's nothing dropping. He said, no, but there's some will. Oh, he said, well, I'm in there, I can be home. He said, no, you go in that shelter. So I just shut him up, every day in the shelter and stand. And he said, he got his pipe out, this is pipe. Looked up, oh. No roof on the shelter, just the sky, and they only put a roof on it.
Oh, really?
Really and truly.
Oh, no.
Yeah, honestly and truly. So he thought, he said, I said, well, bugger that. I was up here in the street, I haven't got a tin hat in any case. So he said, and I walked out.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, we laughed at it, we really laughed at it.
But you and your mum could have gone to the underground.
We did.
Oh, you did?
We did, yeah.
Oh.
I went for her sake.
Oh.
But we went, there were two underground stations, the Piccadilly line and the Islington, I think up to Moorgate line. It was only 6 stations. That's the one I used to go to work, and there were only 6 stations. But the other line, the Piccadilly line, was crowded out. You know why?
Why?
Piccadilly line was deep down. Where we were, it was only like being here,
Yeah.
and the road was over the head.
Yeah.
But in the Piccadilly line,
It's right on the ground.
it was, yeah, though we both went down steps.
Yeah.
But it was the way it was much deeper on the Piccadilly
Yeah.
where the train was,
Yeah.
and it was on the Northern City line.
So you slept there that night?
Well, we went down and we sat, but we were by, at the end was toilets,
Yeah.
men's and ladies, and there was only like pieces of wood, strips of wood, and they had canvas over the wood, no tops on it. Canvas, about as high as that wall over there. And there were just buckets in there.
Oh. Yucky.
Oh, it smelled.
Oh.
I said to Mum, look, if I'm going to go in this wall, I think I'd rather go cleaning my bed. I said, all diseases down here.
Yeah.
So we stayed at home for a bit, but
Really?
she got very, very fidgety. And then afterwards they came in with bunks. They put bunks up along the side of the wall on the underground, on the Piccadilly line. And the older ones had their chance first, so Mum got a bottom back.
Oh.
And I just used to sleep on, like, we put some blankets and eider down. And I used to wear slacks.
Yeah.
I wore slacks to night.
Yeah.
Go home from work, changing your slacks and
Yeah.
jumper, and if you didn't bother about putting night dresses on or pyjamas on, lucky if you got to bed at all.
Yeah.
And I just used to take these blankets and eider down and some pillows. And then I went to the church and there was a jumbo sale on. You know what a jumbo sale is?
Yeah.
They sell junk. She bought this little pushchair that folded up.
Yeah.
That was jolly good. We put all the blankets.
Oh.
We used to make ourselves a flask of coffee or
Oh.
cocoa, like,
Yeah.
and cut some sandwiches and
Oh. Have a picnic.
yeah, everybody did. So there were good times and there were bad times.
Yeah. Did you sleep much though?
Oh yeah, once the trains finished going,
Yeah.
see we weren't allowed, because the platforms weren't all that wide, but people were coming out off the trains and going on the trains until about midnight,
Yeah.
Slacked down round about that time, but they were still coming in every 10 minutes or 40.
Really?
So they had to keep some on for the people to walk by.
Wow.
Otherwise, it was just all bodies laid out on the floor. But people were very good. Nobody got trodden on.
Wow. What was the atmosphere amongst the people like?
Very, very sociable.
Really?
One for all and all for one.
Really?
Yeah, very, very sociable. You'd have sometimes one person who would try to pick somebody up. You know, you snore and that, and then half a dozen people around. Never mind about bloody snoring, we'd rather listen to the snoring than we would be at home listening to the bomb come down. And if you don't like it, lady, go and listen to the bombs. And, and they said the sociability was people you didn't know.
Yeah.
And then one night, when we went on this Northern City line up, I think it smelt like, and I said, no, I don't think it's okay. So the next night, somebody said, why not try Manor House? That was the next station further on.
Yeah.
That was very big. So we got on the underground of Finsbury Park, travelled free of charge.
Yeah.
We got out of Manor House, and we just found a little bit of it. 10 people sitting there, and I said, oh, there's a little bit here.
Yeah.
How many of you? And I said, oh, just the two. Oh, we make, and they were all Jews.
Yeah.
Gee, they were nice people.
Oh, really?
They were nice people.
Yeah.
I could see they were Jews by the men and
Yeah.
their noses, but some of them were. There were about 10 people, like different ages, and
Yeah.
like grandma and granddad and mum and dad, and then sons or daughters and their husbands. And one of them had this baby. Oh, she was huge. Brown eyes and dark curly hair, with roses. She was always smiling and that. And they made her, of course, and they said, oh, come to. And 2 or 3 nights, like we went along there, and they say, and they gave us, this is a piece of so-and-so.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, Julie, doesn't that's what it is.
Yeah. Did other people ignore them?
Yes,
They did.
yeah, a lot of people ignore it.
Really? Why?
Well, I don't know, Jews have got a terrible,
Reputation.
I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it's like everybody, like us, white people. Some are good, some are bad,
Yeah.
and just the same with the Jews. I know, like they say, oh, he's a proper old Jew, but you can meet Jews who they were very nice people.
What's
And they just seemed glad that somebody wanted to talk to them.
Yeah. What's the story where all the bombs were coming down and you were in the house? You and your mum, and the plates were falling off.
Oh, that one. Mrs. Lawrence was down in Mrs. Lawrence.
Yeah.
You know, Auntie Lil,
Yeah.
next door. Mrs. Lawrence, she was Mrs. Lawrence, Mrs. Lawrence. Her mother-in-law.
She lived
lived downstairs.
Oh, okay.
We had like 3 flats.
Yeah.
She had the 2 rooms and a little kitchenette, or scullery, whatever you like to call it. We had a little kitchenette, a bedroom, and a lounge room, called it the front room. Up there. And then Mabs, Auntie Mabs, she had the top one. She had this little outhouse, and a bedroom, and a living room. So, anyway, Mrs. Lawrence was downstairs. When this raid started, she called up, she said, are you going to the shelter, Mrs. Lawrence? So she said, I said, I don't know. She said, no, neither do I. She said, we had a shelter in the garden. Anderson shelter, you've heard of those?
No.
Oh, not a big steel, about 6 feet of steel. But it was put in the ground about 2 or 3 feet and stepped down to it.
Yeah.
And we had this big shelter. And then there were bunks put in it, 4 bunks. 2 lower ones and 2 upper ones. But, digging it down, we weren't far from the New River that ran through the park. It was called the New River. I don't know why they called it the New River. But the New River ran through the park. And we weren't terribly far away. The water sort of came underground. And when often, although, like, while that was Mrs. Lawrence's son next door, I told he lost his leg on a motorbike.
Yeah.
He laid us some bricks and then some boards down.
Yeah.
But the damp rose up through the boards and there was always that drop of water, and we don't know whether it was best to sleep down there
Yeah.
and
Risk
risk
pneumonia.
pneumonia,
Yeah.
or come upstairs and risk getting your head knocked off.
Yeah.
And,
So you stayed upstairs.
well, no, and in the street they had these brick shelters. I told you, my brother went in one and there was they had a thick cement roof, that thick on the top, made of double brick. But actually they were only there for people who were caught in the road in airways. But nobody seemed to come out.
Yeah.
And then the man opposite,
What's going on?
who's the lawnmower?
Oh. Well, we better shut the window if that's alright.
You can't, it's locked.
Oh.
Can you get your finger down?
Yeah. Disturb the story.
Are you taping all this what I've told you?
Yeah.
That's all being taped?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
How do I unlock it?
You lift the thing up.
Oh.
I'll push it down actually. That's alright. Alright. Oh, I didn't realise you... And that's all on there, is it?
I'm going to write it down.
I've never shut up, have I?
That's good. That's what it's about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we were down in... So, we went down in Mrs. Lawrence's kitchen.
Yeah.
And, well, I was married because Grandad came home. But, no, not that night. I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know, the next night. Anyway, she said, "I'll come down here." So my mum and I, we went down in Mrs. Lawrence's kitchen, and she said, "Oh, check all the blinds down, windows plastered up, and shut the door." She said, "It's better than that." She had a big bay window in front. That one comes in, she said, "The big one's plastered up." That one was standing there. She had a huge dresser on there, old-fashioned wooden dresser, and they had hooks for cups to hang on, and then there were big plates. We had plates like with where the people put their meat, but we didn't get enough meat to put on a saucer during the war. That's what they were for.
Yeah.
And it was these big dishes, and I'd say 6 big plates, and then the next shelf was smaller dishes and 6 smaller plates.
Yeah.
And the bottom one was tea plates and the cups hung on so. Well, anyway, all these dishes we were standing there. We had our arms around each other, and this dresser shook, and these plates, china plates, were blown up. And I said, "It's going to come off in a minute." Bang! That one came off. Oh, next minute. Another one. Bang! 2 came off the floor. Bang! 3 came off the floor. 4 came off the floor. And I counted 7. I said, right, that last one up there were 4 big plates, I think, or 4 neck size, I don't know. But I counted the 7 plates and said, when that last one falls, that bomb is for us. And that last one never fell.
Yeah.
That last one stayed on the dresser, rolling around, but it didn't come off. But we didn't have the sense to go, not one of us, and take, when one plate came off, to rush and save the other plate. We just stood there with our arms around each other. And I said, "I wish you'd keep your legs still," but when I looked, it was mine knocking.
Oh, really?
My knees were knocking. I thought it was them knocking my knees. We had our arms around each other. And you know why that 8th one didn't fall? Because I'd only I've not heard the first one before.
Really?
They've dropped what they called a stick of bombs,
Mhm.
and there are 8 bombs to the stick. And that's missed the first one. Well, as it felt, they were after the railway, which ran through Hornsey Road, and those bombs started by Hornsey Road, and they came through along Corby Street, Goldhouse Street, Evershot Road, but only 7.
Yeah.
And I said, when the 8th one comes down, that sounds, and it never ever came
When
down.
did you realise it wasn't going to come down?
Well, when it was such a long while coming down.
Really?
It was all quiet.
And then what did you do? Jump for joy?
No. We all looked at one another, and we kissed and we cried, and
Oh.
we tried to pick other bits of plates, and I said, oh, she said, don't bother about those. But our plates were all up in our the
Really?
kitchen, but they was in a glass cabinet.
Really?
We expected to find them. Wet. The wet was creeping in.
So you didn't even think, even when the bombs were coming down, you didn't think?
Yeah, but then nights after that we were all go across to the shelter in the road, the whole people over this side came out, and I was a very popular person in the shelter because Grandad was in the Navy.
Yeah.
He'd bring me home cigarettes in car.
Oh.
12 packets I think in the car.
Really?
10 or 12.
Yeah.
And he paid so little for them.
Yeah.
And these mates didn't smoke, so he fetched those home. And I came for the lot, because I was pretty generous with the cigarettes, and I always had a couple of packets of cigarettes in the pocket, passing down the street. I said, oh no, that's all right, Bill, get some, you come and get some from the Navy, that's all right. And as I say, like, why we didn't go in the shelter, it was so, in our shelter, it was so wet and that. And then again, all being together, and all talking together took it off a lot more than 3 of us. We were in the shelter one night, the sirens had gone, and then we used to leave the district. We used to leave the pots, what grows, those red pots, flower pots.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have a saucer on a saucer with a candle in it.
Yeah.
And cover it with this flower pot with a hole on top.
Yeah.
And then we fixed it so it couldn't fall down.
Yeah.
Hardly in the sink. If it fell down, it didn't matter. It would catch fire. On top of this candle, we put a tin kettle on. And we'd go down to the shelter. When we came up in the morning, this tin kettle was just sitting long enough to make us asleep. We woke up so many times, and they bombed the roads, and the electricity pipes were broken, or the gas pipes were.
Yeah.
We got no way of.
Yeah.
And somebody had thought of this one.
Clever.
Yeah, with a tin kettle, because it was tin, so a big steel kettle would take ages to heat.
Yeah.
We could come up and have a cup of tea, like,
Yeah.
and no harm done. It was in a big sink. If it had fallen over, it had just gone in the sink and the water would have tipped out.
Yeah.
So there wouldn't have been any fire.
I'll get 3 more stories. I've got to get when you and Granddad met and when you got married.
Well, as I said, I worked at the bank. Then I suddenly thought, I was engaged to a chap. He was a lot older than I was. But I was very friendly with his sister. That's how I met him. And I wasn't very keen, and I nibbled on that. So one day he said, aren't you, you don't sound so. No, I said, I don't feel, they're mad about you or anything.
Oh,
So anyway, we finished. And I worked with his sister. He wasn't very happy like working with her.
yeah.
And I thought, oh no, I'm going to get bored of it. So I went out and I got this job at Coss's,
Yeah.
which before the war was a radio, made all the radios.
Uh-huh.
Wireless radios.
Yeah.
But during the war, making things for the ships and submarines and that. And she asked me all sorts of questions. And then that's the interviewer. And she said, look, these colours, she said, can you tell me what they are? Never had a test like that before. You know, snakes and ladders, you have blues and reds and green
Yeah.
things, Ludo.
Yeah.
They're all colours like that, blue, red, green, brown.
Yeah.
And she said, can you tell what colour that is? Red. She said, what colour's that? I said, that's red. What colour's this then? I said, it's orange. Green, blue, rose, black.
Yeah.
And she'd do all again.
Yeah.
She said, oh, that's good. I'm not 5 years old at school counting. But you know why?
What?
Make sure he wasn't colourblind.
Oh.
Because if you was colourblind
Yeah.
and you thought that was when these leads was on, all these boxes went in submarines and they had like plastic, they were soldered on. We didn't do those. We only had to make sure they were done properly. We called tests and we put them on a thing and tested. So we had to get so many different waves bends across the screen. Otherwise they'd have gone to the four sailors or that wouldn't have been any good and then the ship could have got blown up for it. So,
Yeah.
and all these wires, and that was why they gave us this colour test, because no good of us trying to undo a green one,
Yeah.
put it on find it was on a red spotlight. So that was why we got, I thought it was very clear in asking, oh, gee, I've had this since I'm about 5 years old. And so I went to Coss's and, well anyway, been there quite a few weeks and got quite friendly with Grace. And 2 or 3 others and that, I was at my wedding. The foreman came out and he said, oh, I want these people in the office. About his brother. And I didn't remember her. Rosie Plum. Rosie Plum.
Yeah.
Plum, Rosie Plum. Grace Woods, that was Grace. So. And you all come to my office. I said, well, there's a job. He said, you'll be sent away. A few months. And you'll learn all about electricity things. And he said, when you come back, unfortunately, we're losing our men who do this sort of thing. They're being called up. So we've got to put some ladies on the job. And we said, what we want, pick what we think are the most intelligent on the floor. We want you to go away and learn this thing. So I said, oh, when you see it was only about £2 or £3 a week. Then, well, that wasn't bad money.
Yeah.
£3 a week then. He said, when you come back, you'll be taking the men's wages. He said, an ordinary week would be about £5.10 to £6, but he said some of the overtime running, you can earn £8, £9 a week. I'll put in a bit of overtime. So, because we went away and we went on this test. that's where I met your granddad.
Yeah.
He was in the Navy,
Oh.
and he was on the same electrical test, but not in with us.
Oh.
'Cause we was only 6 of us in here, and 2 of them didn't. One didn't like it, and she went home. The other one was about 30 something. She cried for nothing. She was nothing or something. So one day we were standing in the window. It was in billets. We had our own little room. And then we do 2 shifts. We do from 7 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock. And from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 11 o'clock. And like the rest of the time was free. Well, one day we was on 7 to 3 shift. We've been in the canteen for our lunch. And we came outside the canteen and was standing there. And we saw these 2 blokes. Sailors standing over there. And somebody said, you know, that sailor's got his arm. And he said, oh. I said, no, my dad said, my father was in the Navy. He said, whatever you do, never marry a sailor. I said, no, I'm not marry a sailor. I won't go out with a sailor. Obviously, he was in the Navy. Yeah. He said, never marry a sailor. Anyway, finally, they were both Bill. Granddad was Bill, and their son was Bill Oliver.
Yeah.
And Grace was married. She'd been married, I don't know, about 20. And Grace was the same age, but she got married when she was living in her life. She was 20. Not quite 20, she wasn't, because he was going forward. So this Bill had his eye on Grace. The other Bill had his eye on me.
Yeah.
And then they said, would you like to come for a drink? And I said, oh, come on, it's a bit of fun. And I said, yeah, but I said, I don't drink. And he said, well, have a lemonade or something. I said, I look forward to them, so I can't have that. So, anyway, they
Why?
well, I just thought it was taking their money, like.
Oh.
And anyway, we sat and went to the little pub and got this. And I said, oh, no. So Grace said to me, we'll have a brown ale. She said, they're the cheapest. And then once you can't drink, pour in Bill's glass or pour it in the back of us was a row of ferns in palm glass. I had about 3 brown ales, but I never drank any of it. I was either tipping it in their glass when they weren't with it, or else I was tipping it in the back in the east. And then, anyway, a couple of times we had to drink with it. And another time, we said, would you come for the pictures with me?
But are you David? Why can you walk through?
Oh, no, yeah, well, anyway, we came out of this pub, and Grace and I was walking in front. Your Granddad and the other girl was walking in front. Oh, and they felt so tiddly. She said, she can hold the liquor like a lady. Look, she's walking along, she's along a straight line. And anyway, we went in the fish shop. They said they'd have some chips. Granddad said, oh, I'm not waiting in that thing. All the fish and chips. I thought, oh, I said, I'll get the chips. He said, you can't get those. I said, yes, I can. So I just bent my head and pushed my way to the ground. I got up. I got up to the floor. I said, oh, dropped my money. They all looked at me, but I was up the front of the counter and I got these chips. We were walking along eating. And anyway, like, they said, Jim, he said, and they both felt a bit hazy. Well, they were drinking their beers and at least half of mine, what they weren't drinking went in the pot. And they thought I could hold my liquor like a lady. Well, anyway, then it came a few nights later and Granddad said, I suppose you want to come to the pictures with me on the night. And he said, you'll ask Grace. And I said, yeah, why? So when we came out of there, he said, would you like a drink? I said, look, no. I said, look, I want to confess something. And he said, well, what's that? I said, I don't drink. And he said, you don't want? I said, oh, I don't drink. He said, oh, come off of it. He said, what about all those drinks? I said, I didn't drink. And he said, what did you do? I said, I put in your glass and the other bills and some in the plants at the back of me. And he said, oh, he said, no way. He said, I felt quite woozy. So instead of them having a couple of brown ales, they'd had, well, 3.5 or 4. I didn't.
And when did he ask you to marry him?
Oh, not then. And anyway, I said to him, I just like, I said, I have had a chat, but I said he was older than me. You know, it was serious at first.
Yeah.
But I wasn't very keen after time. Too fussy. When it's cold, back you up.
Really?
Can't stand. Fussed over. And he said, well, he said, actually, I'm engaged. I said, I'm not. That's you out then. Anyway, the next weekend, he said, well, I won't be seeing you this weekend. Once a fortnight was to go home. He said, I've got a little job to do. And I said, oh, okay. What happened? He went to break off his engagement. This girl in Bath. Queenie. It was a popular name, Queenie, yeah. Oh, we had several Queenie Clarks. And we were Queenie Clark and Queenie Tasker.
Yeah.
And
So you broke it up because he met you?
we broke this engagement. Well, anyway, his mum wasn't very pleased, but nobody liked this Queenie. Penny told me this. Afterwards. She said, I said, I don't think your mum was. Oh, she said, yeah, but his mum wasn't very keen on Penny, but she said, Queenie. She said, well, when she came home and I was wondering if she didn't touch her home. Oh, pass me the salt, will you? No, please, I think.
Okay.
So, anyway, but when he broke it off, his mum thought perhaps he'd done it because of her, like, she's when she found out I was London, I don't think London was that very good names in country areas like that. They were. But, she was alright.
Yeah.
So that's how we met and he broke it off and he came to see me and he said, well, I've got my engagement and that's all clear. So I said, well, I don't suppose I'll ever marry you. He said, oh, you will.
You got married during the war?
Yeah, we were married in April 44. We weren't going to get married till June. My mum and dad were married in June, on the 25th of June. 19, they were married in 1914. 1950. And my mum was married, dad's second. His first wife had died. Edward, Bert. And there was a little girl, but she died when she was 3. One of the boys got measles. They didn't know that the child of the girl had got it, and she died when you know. But I was my mum's only child, so she had a late marriage. I was about 45 and just on 44. I was born in December and she was 44 on the 2nd of January.
She died on the
4th of January. She died on the 4th of January. Yes, His granddad, 58 years nearly.
Good. Well, we better leave it there.
I think so.
Getting tired.
One for all and all for one.
Yeah.
They were all on, like your side, everybody, right?
Yeah.
They were.
All hanging on to every last day.
Well, that's everybody was a friend, so.
Yeah.
And it's amazing those people in the East End. Some of them are very, very poor.
Yeah.
And like they're, like in fact, that book I'm reading, they think, I think you did it.
Oh.
And,
Yeah.
but if anyone was bombed out, they were taken in by people who weren't bombed out.
Yeah.
They were marvelous. They were looking after each other. That's why.
It's good how human spirit comes together.
Oh, in the war, it definitely.
Yeah. I can imagine that though. Definitely. Even at the moment, everyone's like kind of looking out for each other. We don't imagine that. No. Thank you, Nanna.
Alright, that's alright, Mum. Yeah, I hope it's, I haven't talked too much out. Well, to say the truth, I might have slipped up a bit somewhere, but...
That's very good, thank you. Hello? Hello? What